Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Logan Show. Look for me, Captain Logan, and joining me, as always, is my chat moderator and co-host, and also son, nepotism. Look, it's
Really?
Jason.
I didn't know that.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
Thanks for modding and talking with me.
No problem.
Tonight, we're not watching a Disney film. Every time we do a Mania and we come back from that, it's like I gotta remember how to get back to the channel proper. Because for 2 weeks it was a different channel. It was just Disney movies. That's what we do.
For me, it's fine because I did only 2 of those. So
that's true. So it was just sort of a vacation.
Yeah.
It was really just not doing this.
I was just like watching movies.
Yeah, literally. Like, because you'd come on and you'd say, like, maybe 5 things.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much.
No, you talked a little bit.
Pretty much. Yeah.
More than Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey just gave me, like, evil glares. That's pretty much what he did. We had a crazy weekend. We went to Planet Comic-Con. We're going to show you guys a few things that we got at the con. But I'm going to spread that out over 2 days because we've also got Comic Book Late Night Unlimited tomorrow. We've been batting once a month for that lately. Because we've been having to go on like little hiatuses for things with that show, and so I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff to review, and it's gonna be just me and Chris. We're not gonna have Austin tomorrow, so it will be a bit of a shorter show than it has been, which means it'll be 3 hours instead of 4.5. But anyway, we're going to do a segment on Planet Comic-Con for that, and I'll show you signatures and some really neat stuff that I got there. And for people that didn't make this show, I might show this stuff off again. But I have some non-comic things, and Jason has a thing to show also. So we'll do that here in a little bit. Our big lead-in topic tonight is going to be the HBO Max Harry Potter trailer. Hey, look, it's Harry Potter again.
What?
We're doing what we did before, Jason, but with a new cast because everybody's like in their 40s,
right,
or elderly or past, you know.
Yes.
R.I.P. to Alan Rickman and anybody else from that franchise that's not with us. Like I guess the original Dumbledore and say again.
Hagrid.
Oh, I forgot he passed away. Yeah. Well, we're starting on a sour note. But anyway,
let's get happy.
We're gonna talk about what we think of the trailer for this new TV show for HBO Max that's going to extend the stories and ostensibly be more faithful to the books. Of course, a lot of controversy surrounding the show because there's a lot of controversy surrounding everything that happens now, Jason. But we're going to focus less on that and a lot more on just what we saw in the trailer and whether we want to watch the thing and whether we think it looks like it's worth doing again the way they're approaching it. So we'll take a look at that. Jason's got a fun music segment for us in the second half, and we will answer.
I know you're all surprised.
Your questions, if you have any, in the second half. But if you want to leave any super chats, we will guarantee that we will discuss your topic or answer your questions on any subject within reason in the sphere of pop culture and geekiness. And we'll answer things in the second half, like I said, that don't have to do with our lead-in topic or anything we talk about at the start. But if it is related, we'll hit it right away, or relatively right away. We may be doing a slightly truncated show tonight. We're starting later than we had intended to. The roads were crazy tonight. I had to pick up Jason from dance, and Jason's a competitive dancer. He's always... in the evenings, I'm just driving him around all the time, and that's part of why I have to start shows so late these days. Why most of our stuff's at 10. And anyway, we hit not one but 2 roadblocks for how I usually get back. So it was an extra like 25 minutes getting home tonight. It was absolutely ridiculous. There was one close to where Jason goes to dance, and one like blocks away from my house. It was just preposterous.
Yep. It's awesome. Let's do it again.
Yeah, it was so much fun. This is going to be the new permanent home time slot for this show.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start doing this on Mondays around 9 o'clock, as close to 9 as we can get. It'll be the only show that's at that time slot. We usually do things at 10 o'clock, but we want to keep this to an hour and a half, 2 hours as best we can, and Jason's got school and things to do, so we've got to start as early as we can. Wednesday night is now going to be opened up, and I will still be doing shows at 10 o'clock, but it won't it won't be this show, and it won't always be the same thing. My plan right now is to bring back finally 89 for 89 and to do that night as often as possible. I may also occasionally do a game stream that night, and I'm kicking around some different sorts of things, but that'll be a little bit more of a open potpourri sort of night.
I'll come on for game streams.
Oh sure, that'd be great. It'll be fun because we'll have a night for a different genre every night of things or different subjects. So Monday we'll be talking comic news or not comic news, pardon me, pop culture news, and we'll just have this fun general discussion show that we've always had. And it's a nice way to kick off the week, I think. Yeah. And then Tuesdays will be all comics, and we're gonna move the vault now back to being a segment in Comic Book Late Night. But never fear, because that show's already long, so we'll probably still go 45 minutes to an hour very often, and those reviews will be now not just new stuff, but any comic series we feel like talking about. We're going to let you guys leave super chats to put things on a wheel. We're going to start spinning a wheel for that show because you know how much we love wheels. And then Wednesday night will be an extra, sometimes game streams, sometimes blind movie commentaries. And then Thursday will still be Request, and Friday will still be the Superhero Rewind Commentary Project. So changing things slightly, but it will actually add more variety and will allow me to bring back 89 for 89, which has just been very difficult to do at the end of the weekend. So that's the news that's fit for print. And now, in lieu of a Patreon question, because we didn't think we were going to have another show this month, so I haven't put feelers out yet for Patreon questions. We're going to tell you a little bit about what we did this weekend at Planet Comic Con, show you off some stuff. Just spend a few minutes on this before we get to Harry Potter. Sorry, I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, patreon.com/geekvolution, $2 tier. That's how you can put in a question if you can't make it on the show. And we have already exhausted all of our questions from last time. Except Bag Studios wanted to know what our favorite letter was, because he likes to ask silly, goofy questions.
Yeah,
and he
said
why. And why is it why? And I don't remember if we actually answered that. But if I had a favorite letter, it would be Z. Because I'm obsessed with Lord Zed, and I have a Z on my arm, so I would have to call that my favorite letter. And Z is fun because it's always a challenge when you play alphabet games with different categories, trying to come up with a Z.
The hardest one for me is always Q.
I also like Z because it has two names.
Zed.
Because the Canadians call it Zed.
Austin calls it Zed.
Yeah. What a weirdo.
It's always weird when we're on a call with him and he says Zed, and I'm like, I have to make myself remember again. Oh, yeah, he's not here.
Yeah, those weird Canadian quirks. They say Zed instead of Z, and they say grade 1 instead of first grade. Those weirdos. Anyway.
Yep.
Jason, what is your favorite letter?
J.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because your name starts with J?
Yeah, it's a really cool looking letter, too.
It is. I had that growing up.
Because of Geek Evolution?
I like G more after our cool planet logo.
Yeah.
I think of that letter differently now. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Planet Comic Con. Jason, I've been talking a lot. Why don't you tee us up with this?
Okay, we went to Planet Comic Con yesterday. We went Sunday, and it was great. I had to leave a little bit early for a dance. I'm always a dance. But I still had a great time, and I only got really one thing, but it's a pretty cool thing. Dad got lots of signatures and stuff, and we were going around from place to place, and I don't know, it was fun. It's Planet Comic Con.
Yeah. That con is absolutely gigantic. It is too overwhelming to go Saturday now, and they don't have a limit of how many tickets they sell, so you just don't know how much of a sardine can it's going to be until you get there. It's absolutely insane, and unless I ever get a table or something again, I'm probably never going to do Saturday again. But we go Sunday now, and I mean, it gets crowded on Sunday, but nothing like Saturday. There were a couple of celebrities that I was originally planning to get autographs for, and it turned out they could only go Friday, Saturday, and I decided not to go Friday because just the extra expensive parking and tickets and everything was more than I thought was worth it. But I could have seen Kiefer Sutherland. I really wanted to do that. That would have been a $120 autograph, and this is now the second time that I've missed Keith David. 2 years ago, he was at Planet. He was supposed to be at Planet. He canceled. This year, he made it, but he was only there Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
So I still do not have a Spawn Thing autographed by Keith David. Hopefully, one of these years he'll be there, and on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to tell every story I have from this con. I'll tell some more stories tomorrow. There were highs, there were lows. We laughed, we cried, we spilled milk on our good pants. It was fun, but there were some unfortunate things that happened.
Yeah.
One of them was I'll try to talk about the non-comic stuff right now. There was a big comic tragedy. I will save that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
A comic tragedy that I'm just gonna do a cliffhanger here. That is gonna cost me monetarily. It was really unfortunate. It was sad. It was really unfortunate. I lost things. I've never done that before. It was really unfortunate. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But also, we were supposed to get Karen Ashley's autograph. She's one of the only original Power Ranger actors. When I say original, I mean Mighty Morphin actors that we don't have an autograph for. We have a photograph of the original 5 that we've been getting signed since Jason was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And we've got everybody except for Catherine Sutherland, Karen Ashley, and Johnny Young Bosch. And I've met Bosch, so I don't know why I didn't have him sign that. I don't even remember now. It's weird. And we've been to we've been to Paramorphicon 10 years ago, but we tragically forgot to bring it with us. And all of those guys were there, and we saw them all, but we didn't get to get their autographs on this thing because we didn't want to split it up. So we brought it. We didn't forget it. We were going to have her sign it. We couldn't find her. Yep. And I wish I'd just asked somebody, but there had never been a Power Ranger actor there that wasn't in Celebrity Row with everybody.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of slots that just didn't have anybody, so I was like, she must have canceled Sunday, like some other people did. And it turned out that they put her with all of the voice actors that were in... And I don't know why they did that. Like, I guess, people think of Power Rangers as kind of a cartoon, but, like, she was an on-screen actor. It's very strange. But they put her with that stuff, with those folks, and I never saw that area. I don't know where it was at the con. If you went to Planet, tell me where in the building that was. I never saw it. I found the big Batman Animated Series booth that they've started doing, where they had like Dan Reba, who I met a couple years ago and got a sketch cover for, and this was another kind of sad thing. Paul Dini was there, and I brought stuff for Paul Dini to sign, and I was very excited about that, and he just charged too much for everything else I was doing, and so I ended up not doing that. Paul Dini was charging $70. And I was already getting a couple of autographs that were close to that, and I just couldn't justify it, and so I didn't do it. And I don't mean to sound cheap, but it gets expensive, you know. And I'm like, I probably all told spent like $400 at this con. I was kind of at my limit, and so I went. I guess I'm not doing that this time. But I got to get lots of signatures from comic artists that didn't charge a crazy amount. And I mean, look, I would have paid $30-$40 with Dini, but I couldn't see going to $70.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and show some of the stuff that we did get. Why don't you start?
I'll start. I got one big thing. It's pretty big.
This is really cool, by the way.
I went in with Freddie on this, and because we're big fans of this, and this is pretty cool. So I can't remember for the life of me what this weapon is called. It's from Halo. And it's a huge gun from Halo, and it's
I can hold it for you.
I love it.
See if we can
Freddie
get it.
Hates it in the game, but we went on.
That's so funny because he bought it.
Yeah, and we had Jeff Sticer sign it, who is the announcer in that game, and
he's got a great signature.
He's the nicest guy on the planet, and I knew that, and I didn't know he was there.
I've never been a Halo guy. Just holding this makes me want to play that game.
I know, it's so cool.
Oh, sorry, I'll try not to.
Thank you, Braden. Covenant Carbine. Thank you.
Isn't that cool? So I'm not a Halo guy. I've played it like one time, and I don't remember what the voice even sounds like. Mm-hmm. This is probably the coolest thing we came back with.
Yeah.
It's really neat, right?
Yeah. No, and, yeah, I mean...
Braden says he's quite jealous.
I've seen him in interviews and stuff, and he's just, like, the nicest guy, and I was like, I want to meet that guy, because he's just super nice. And he was, like, Freddie and Mikey kept quoting the game, and then he would do it for like everything that they would say. He would like say it back to them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
and that was a neat experience for Freddie and Mikey. So those are my 11 and 7-year-old respectively, and they had never really had the celebrity experience before, and so that's somebody that they would have recognized the voice of and been excited about. And we showed them some episodes of shows from celebrities that we got signatures from this week, because I got Jeffrey Combs, who's of course done tons of Star Trek, and a lot of people know him for horror movies, and he's the Question in Justice League, and so I showed them an episode of that, and I showed them. I did not show them Reanimator, okay, but I showed them a couple Smallvilles, and I showed them a couple or an Enterprise episode of the introduction to Shran, and so it was fun for them to get to meet him, but they didn't really have anything to say to him, and so getting to talk to that guy was, I think, a real big deal for them. Yeah. And same thing with Tom Welling. And we didn't get to spend a lot of time with Welling. He didn't have a gigantic line or anything, but people wanted to take pictures with him more than getting signatures, it seemed like, and I did the same thing. And so I think he was like moving people through the line to get the pictures, and I think he's probably used to like longer lines, and bigger crowds. And so like Jeffrey Combs. And I was sad that he didn't have hardly a line. We didn't have to wait to see him, which was great for us, and we got to spend more time with him. But I was like, come on, guys, Jeffrey Combs. Why is nobody here to see him? Yeah. He was the big guy I wanted to see. He wasn't anything like the most famous person that I was interested in, but if I could only get one autograph, he would have been the guy. And that's partly because I've been collecting Star Trek autographs for 20 plus years, and he was one of my favorite character actors in Deep Space Nine, and then of course Enterprise. So like, you get some of the big Trek celebrities, and it's a big deal to get an Avery Brooks, which I have, a Stewart, which I do not have. Almost as big of a deal to me personally. You have your niches. To get a Tony Todd. It was one of my favorite experiences I ever had at a con. Was talking with Tony. I mean, I almost said hanging out, because we talked like 15 minutes. We had a good long conversation, and then Jeffrey Combs. Yeah, and he's just never been to a con that I've been at, so I had to get him. Yeah. So we got I had a hard time deciding what to get signed by him, because I didn't really have any like Wayun stuff or Shran stuff. And I wish I'd had that Shran action figure. Yeah. It goes for a little bit now. It's kind of hard to get your hands on. All right. But I did have my Art Asylum, my coveted. This is one of my favorite things. My favorite ship.
It's the best ship ever.
My coveted Art Asylum Enterprise, and I said, you know what? I'll just have him sign this. And now I'm thinking, if we meet any other Enterprise actors, why don't we just start the thing that we did with the Batleth and go to town with it? Because, look, you've got the hull on the front, and then you can go to the bottom, and you could get everybody you could get. Yep. I also waited, 25 years to do this, and so I don't know the likelihood of me meeting a lot of Enterprise actors at this point. Yeah. Luckily, pretty much everybody is still, like, young enough. Like, Bacula's getting up there now. But I mean, everybody else is kind of in their 50s.
I don't know if I've seen anybody else from Enterprise at a con though.
I have. Have you? But I've seen the guy that played Mayweather.
Okay, that's cool.
His name's not coming to me right now. He was at the 2009 Trek Expo in Oklahoma, where I saw Nimoy and Shatner on stage together.
Oh yeah.
He was at that show, and I didn't get anything signed by him because, limited on cash. I picked a couple of actors, and I think that was the show that I saw Tony Todd. But anyway, I digress. So we see Jeffrey Combs. Sorry, I'm trying to get the glare off of this. And he signs in blue. He picks. So he goes, "When am I signing?" And he was super nice. Like I said, we got to hang out with him for about 5 minutes, and we got to talk to him all kinds of stuff. I talked to him about Dr. Mordred, which Austin is obsessed with, and we did on the commentary project a while back, and that was fun. He seemed surprised that somebody brought that up, so it was fun to talk to him about. But And I hand him the ship, and he starts playing with it.
Yeah.
He was like flying it around. Like I pushed the button, he was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then he goes, then he looks at me, and he's kind of putting on his like dramatic Jeffrey Combs voice, and he goes, when you say,
yeah,
and he goes, "I've been on that ship before." That was great, and we talked about the Enterprise's cancellation and how he was supposed to be a regular in the 5th season, and he confirmed that. I had heard that, from Manny Cotto in interviews and stuff, and in the 50-year mission he talks about that, and so I was pretty sure that was true, but I wanted to talk to Jeffrey Combs about it, and I told Jeffrey Combs, I said, and this is fun because I don't think he'd thought about this before. I said there was kind of this weird trend where Trek shows would be saved by the 4th season. Mm-hmm. There'd be some element that was either added or, in TNG's case, just got more people interested. Mm-hmm. And so in TNG, it wasn't like a new character or something, but Best of Both Worlds really shaked things up and got people to pay attention to that, because it looked like there might be a big shakeup, right? Yeah. And so then suddenly season 4, that becomes the #1 show on television. And then DS9, we add Worf in the 4th season, and that saves that show. And then Voyager, we add 7 of 9 in the 4th season, that saves that show. Now, there was kind of a shakeup with Enterprise in the 4th season, with Manny Cotto becoming the showrunner, and our finally paying attention to TOS and the unprecedented 3-parters and all of that stuff, but it wasn't like adding a character or something, and it didn't bring an audience in. And I said to Jeffrey Combs, if tradition had stuck, if they'd made you main cast in the 4th season instead of what would have been the 5th, it might have saved the show. And he looks at me and he goes, "That's a great theory. It's not true." And I said, "I know it's not, but I want it to be true." And he goes, "The problem is, when they renewed us for a 4th, we knew there was no way it was getting a 5th. Mm-hmm. He said they had already basically canceled it."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you have that in common with TOS. Because they put TOS at the Friday Death Nail slot, and they knew they weren't going to renew that."
Yeah.
Anyway, so wonderful conversation I got to have with Jeffrey Combs. Tom Welling was, like I said, a lot more clipped. That was really a lot more about just getting to get the selfie, which was wonderful. And his handler that took this was real professional and took 3 shots in case one didn't turn out, which was great. And I love that he just dresses like Clark except in black.
Yeah.
Like, he basically just looks like an older Clark Kent now.
Yeah.
Boy, he's aged wonderfully.
Yeah,
man looks great.
Yeah.
And honestly, it looks better in person than on some episodes of Talkville, where he's...
John said Clark.
Clark! Yeah, there he is. When sometimes in Talkville, just like... I almost said Skyping in, but just, coming in on camera from his office, he'll look like a little disheveled.
Yeah.
It's like, "Tom Welling, comb your hair." But he really cleans up in person. And I told him about the 24-hour streams. And I didn't get much time to talk. There were a lot of things I wanted to bring up with him that I wish I'd had time for. The big thing is, I wanted to tell him, I wish I'd remembered to do this. I wanted to tell him where I thought Smallville was on a map. Because I've gone on about this a lot on the show, where I'm like, here's the evidence for where it has to be, and also, do you think Metropolis is in Kansas or not? Mm-hmm. I meant to ask him that stuff, I just didn't have time.
Oh, and Goofster says, did you ask him what he would ask Jor-El when he gets to heaven?
That was another thing that I wanted to do, and I just didn't get time to get into some of that stuff. But I thanked him for Talkville, and told him that that's given me a lot of insight with the show that we're doing, and I told him that we're doing these 24-hour streams, or like now splitting it up 12 and 12, and he seemed very impressed by that, and he looked at me and he goes, "That's an endurance run." Like, he couldn't believe we were doing it. He's like, "That's crazy." And even at I told him about that at the beginning. We took the picture, we talked for a minute, and before we left, he looked at me and he brought it up again, and he goes, "I mean, that's just crazy that you're doing that." But he was wonderful. I kind of hope that I'll have a chance to meet him again. I kind of want to talk to him about more stuff.
Yeah.
I wish to God I could get an interview with him.
Yeah.
And because of the Talkville thing especially, really the only way you can talk to these guys for any length of time is to pay pretty big Patreon fees. You know, they've got like this big $250 tier. And I'm like, can you do it for 1 month? How long do you have to stay on that? Like, because they'll invite people at that tier like for a segment on the show, which would be really cool to do. And I would maybe consider it if it was 1 month and I knew for sure I'd get a spot.
Yeah.
But I also wish I hadn't waited until season 8 and beyond. You know, I would have rather done that during 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
But anyway, he also told me that they've already recorded halfway through season 8, and they've only posted like 4 or 5. And so I told him like you guys are right about where we're at. But anyway, so that was wonderful. And then the other thing I got, and people were making fun of how much taller he was than me. And I'm like,
But
he's so tall, yeah. Well, and that's what I told my wife. I was like, see, Sarah, like I'm so short, and she just looked at me. She goes, well, no, he's tall. He's really tall, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, both of those
are kind of true.
But...
yeah. The thing is, I'm average height, but there are so many men I meet that tower over me that I feel like a very short person.
Sure.
The other cool thing that I got at the con that's not comic related, and then we'll get to the Harry Potter trailer. Sorry, we're talking about this longer than I meant to. Is this gigantic? I can't even get on camera. This gigantic Red Ranger sword, which we got from the same vendor, and he makes these himself. The same vendor.
Oh yeah, the same vendor as this.
That Jason got that gun from.
Yeah.
And Mikey, we didn't bring it down. Mikey also got a White Ranger sword, a Saba. Which I've got the Legacy Saba, but he didn't have one that he could do anything with. So yeah, I also got that. So that vendor gave us a spectacular deal on these because we were buying so many, and because it was Sunday and he was trying to get rid of everything. There was even another Halo gun Jason kind of wanted that by the time we got back to the booth, they'd already sold out.
They had needlers, and then people bought them.
So, anyway, this is hand-painted. It's really just a display piece. The paint's gonna chip if you mess around with it too much. But it's lovely. I like it a lot. I like how frigging gigantic it is.
It's huge.
I think it might be bigger than the Legacy or the Lightning swords.
Yeah, I think it is.
And it's probably too big. Like, I don't... Like I think it's like a fantasy sword made to look like a Tyrannosaurus sword.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love it. It's wonderful. You wouldn't believe the deal I got on that. It was fantastic. More stuff from the con tomorrow. We'll do more of a briefing on that. Let's go ahead. And Nicholas Bodo says, awesome Covenant sword.
Oh yeah, Carbine Covenant.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's not a sword. That's a gun.
It's a gun.
Anyway, I still think that's probably the coolest thing that we came back with.
Yeah.
Makira says this is more interesting than the Harry Potter trailer. Well, it might be to some of us. But let's go ahead and get into the Harry Potter trailer, shall we? So we've known about this obviously forever. This is this thing is probably like the most, or at least one of the most anticipated pop culture events because Harry Potter is just so freaking huge, and there are a lot of fans that for a long time have theoretically wanted this. You know, a TV show that season by season could really flesh out the material in the books and not skimp out on some of the character stuff, some of the world details, some of the cool flourishes, and get a little heavier into the lore and the thematic stuff that you just don't have as much time for in the films. I've always been in the camp that says the movies are ultimately, especially after the first 3, kind of supplemental to the books.
Yeah.
Where they just don't really feel complete, and even if you think you fully understand what's happening, you can't possibly, you don't actually. That means I don't, because I've not read the last 2.5 books. Mm-hmm. And I know there's stuff that I would appreciate a lot more if I was looking at the books. Jeff and I did a series years ago on the movies. He filled in a lot of blanks for me. I don't remember a lot of it now, but he agrees with that, and he likes the movies. But he would go, here's like this kind of token representative scene that happens that is really just supplemental to the actual, full material. And so, again, ostensibly, this show should flesh a lot of that stuff out. The big question, of course, is going to be, and I still have this looking at this trailer, how much will it go its own way?
Yeah.
And how faithful will it really be to the books?
Yeah.
The elephant in the room, obviously, is the Snape casting.
Yeah.
And that's all anybody is talking about right now with that trailer. Well, there's two things I'm hearing. I'm hearing, wow, it actually looks better than I expected. Mm-hmm. And sometimes from the same people, I should say. And I'm hearing, well, if they're going to claim to be really faithful to the books, why are you doing a race swap? And also, doesn't that race swap kind of color things weird with backgrounds of characters and stuff? With the big thing people keep bandying about, of course, is Harry Potter's dad bullying Snape as a kid, and I didn't remember what exactly the bullying was, but somebody said hanging from a tree. Well, that's gonna feel way different now when you make him a different race, obviously.
Yeah.
And so now there's gonna be a racial component to that, and the question is, how far do they lean into that? If this guy is just that spectacular of an actor in the role, I personally am, I think, capable of being pretty colorblind about it.
And that's why Alex Barron just said.
But the problem is, it's hard to expect in this day and age that we won't lean into that, and that won't be part of the storytelling. And like, I can see both camps on this with stuff. I wanted to get this out of the way. I can see both camps on this stuff just generally. Get out of Harry Potter for a minute, because I've been on both sides of the fence on this. Where sometimes I've agreed with people that have said, well, the race swap makes sense as long as there's a story reason for it. Mm-hmm. And I've also been in the opposite camp that said, well, the race swap makes sense if the race of the character doesn't really matter, mm-hmm. or if the acting, or like if the personality of the actor is so damn right for the part that I can look through what he looks like and not give a crap about that. That's easier on stage than it is in film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you kind of got to case by case, and I know I say that for everything, but I think it's true. You have to case by case weigh all of those elements and go, what does the motivation for this on the part of the producers seem to be? Is it just a racial quota thing? Did he seem like just the right guy for the job for them? Do they feel like they have to modernize it by putting in some kind of like racial friction with the character? And so I don't know, like, do you think with this particular case, Jason, and I don't know if you have strong opinions about this, but do you think with this particular case that it only works if the fact that he's a black man matters to the story, or that it works better if that actually has nothing to do with it and he's just damn good in the role?
I think it matters more if he's just really good. I think if he's really bad, then I would say, why didn't you get a better actor? Not why didn't you get a white guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I also think it's really funny that
I won't be able to not also go, well, then why didn't you just cast it closer to the source material?
I also think it's really funny that, one, they only showed it for 3 seconds.
Yep.
And 2, he has dreads.
Yeah.
That's really funny to me. I don't know. I have to see more of him. Like, I have to see him actually talking.
Yeah, it's weird because, I mean, like, Snape has, like, long flowing hair. Like, you could have a black man that has, like, long hair that's not put up in any way. It'd be weird if you had a bald Snape, I think. Like, he's gonna have long hair.
I just need him to be intimidating.
Yes.
Black guys are intimidating sometimes. So, like...
Well, okay, I mean, people of any ilk can be intimidating.
But also, we only got 3 seconds of the guy. I don't know if that guy has, like, an intimidating face.
I hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like some of the most intimidating like towering actors I can think of
voices.
have been black men. Absolutely, sure. Yeah. And I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
He could just have like a killer voice.
Yeah.
Where I go, okay, like I've got to see the thing. But what's annoying to me about the discourse is everybody, and then let's just talk about the trailer.
Yes.
Everybody that's freaking out about, maybe this is hyperbolic, I could be wrong. I feel like most everybody that's freaking out about that casting had to have known about it already.
Yeah.
Like that's taken over the conversation, but it already was. So you're getting a lot of people kind of acting like now we finally know that it's. I mean, we've known for what, a couple months, several months.
Yeah.
That wasn't that the first casting choice we got? Didn't we
sure.
have Snape before we had Harry Potter? And wasn't it kind of odd that was the first thing they showed us? Like let's lead with we went with a race swap, while we're also saying it's going to be deeply faithful to the source material. Now, having said all of that, look, apart from that, a lot of it does look like it might be very faithful to the source material.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff, or at least a few like kind of minor details that I'm going already, it's kind of neat that we're getting this. Like, the Dursleys are going to feel more like an awful abusive family because you're going to spend more time with them. And I guarantee you that first episode is all Dursleys.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it will be an hour in that oppressive house and going to the zoo and all of that. And then he might not even get on the train at the end of that episode. Let's be real. That could happen at the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah.
But I kind of think he gets on the train at the end of that first episode.
Yeah.
What if because they show him running down the platform, 9 3/4.
Yeah.
What if it's that and then it cuts to credits? What if that's the end of the first episode? He's like, and then, yeah, created by. What if it's that?
Yeah. It also looks a lot like the movies.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like,
and not
really
just
close.
in wardrobe and sets and everything. Like, first of all, if they made all new props for this, they're friggin' stupid. If they spent a lot of money recreating everything, why the hell would you do that? You just go into warehouses and you put all the old stuff out. It just looks like those movies. But it's not just the look of it. Dude, it's cinematography and stuff. We're filming stuff precisely the same way. So we're selling this real hard on nostalgia. Mm-hmm. And it feels like what they're trying to do is like, or at least the way they're selling it, they're trying to make you think what they're doing is shot-by-shot remake with all the deleted scenes they didn't actually shoot with the original movies. Plus a Snape with dreadlocks. And like a few other kind of odd new things. Yeah. There are a few like creative choices that I feel like are made to make the thing feel a little bit more realistic, a little bit more real world. One of them is we've really subdued the lightning bolt in the forehead. Like, that does not look like it does in the movie. It looks like an actual scar now.
Yeah.
Just that. Like, before it kind of looks like a sticker of a lightning bolt. And now, like, it looks like a real scar.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some creative choices like that they're getting away from what was done before. Mm-hmm. But so much of it is just precisely what you had in the first place. And I was put off by that a little at first. And I'm conflicted about it because I'm thinking, all the design work with those original movies was just kind of on point and correct. And it's like, should we redesign everything to try to avoid comparison to the originals? Mm-hmm. Or should we lean into what they looked like because there's no avoiding comparison?
Yeah. And that's just what they'll think will sell, is that look.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true, too. But, like, could they come up with great, fun, whimsical designs that are completely different from what we had before, and yet seem faithful to the way Rowling described things in the books. That's the problem. Is like some things you're just going to come by naturally because you're taking it off the page.
Can I say this?
But it doesn't have to be shot exactly the same way.
Can I say this? I kind of wish it was animated.
Well, we say that with a lot of stuff.
But we already have, like, the problem is a lot of people only know those movies, and we have like faces that we put with those characters, and if you get animated, you get a different look, and you also
yeah, your style's different,
but you also can make it. You can also make all of it. Because there's the question of, will they even be able to make all 7 books? Like, probably not. Or
well,
everyone's going to be like 20 by the time they, like, because of how TV is made now.
So your worry is...
Everyone's going to be too old by the 7th.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we were a year and a half in between movies before, and... we used to make TV season to like year to year. So the idea that you can't get 2 seasons out within a year and a half, I think is kind of silly.
I mean,
I don't
know. Knowing HBO, I don't know.
I think the bigger worry is just, will it flop if the word of mouth is bad? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of buzz about this, and people are Harry Potter obsessed, of course. But you'll lose the Harry Potter fans if you get too far away from the material, if it goes too far its own way, if it feels pandery in any way. And so you could end up with a Rings of Power situation. Now, I don't think the first season is going to be like that was. But if it's really bad, it could be. It could turn into that. So that would be more of my worry, that you won't be able to make all 7 seasons. And like, I think they'll rush it. I think they'll make sure they can get the second season out before that kid is very much older than he is now. Yeah. And then the other thing is, you're gonna have some actors that you've oddly cast too old for the start.
Yeah.
Like, how did you go with an 80-year-old John Lithgow?
Yeah.
That's shocking to me. And like, that casting choice was already odd, because I don't love that you're not going with an all British cast. But like, Lithgow was wonderful. I can kind of see him in that role if he can do a good British accent. I've not seen him in anything where he's done that. Maybe he has, but he's got range. I can totally see that. But I didn't realize how old he was. And when I looked it up and I realized he's already 80, I'm like, well, we're going to have the same situation that we did before. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
And, obviously I don't want to just assume that people are going to pass by. Just statistically, the man's 80 when they get started, which means, to your point, if they don't get one out every season, he's 93 or 95 when they're finished.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to have to recast. The likelihood is you have to recast him.
Yeah.
And like, what if he gets sick? What if he? I mean, that character has more physical stuff to do later than he does early on.
He has so much stuff in 7, it's crazy.
Yeah. Alex Barron says Lithgow was Churchill in The Crown. You know what? I knew that. I forgot about that. Okay, well, that means he's got a history of doing a British accent.
Okay.
So I'm sure that part of it will be fine. And he looks great in it.
Yeah.
Let me grab my gong while you're getting super chats.
Yeah,
here.
we got a super chat from $5. Whoa, we got a super chat from $5. Okay.
I haven't seen Here's $5 in quite a while.
In a minute, no.
Anyway, go ahead.
A $5 super chat from Killer Moth Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that YouTube discourse is more about getting views than actually caring about the source. Awesome haul from the convention, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yep.
Sure. And is very rarely going to represent the unspoken majority.
Yeah. Now I have a question for you.
But if he's not great, it's gonna hurt it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
So two things can be true at the same time. I don't want to immediately get all outraged by it.
Yeah.
Because what if the actor is great?
Yeah.
But this is also like a fool me once and I've been burned a bunch of times sort of thing, where we have, in several cases, seen like a gender swap or a race swap or just somebody that's not right for the part, that's put there for like cynical Hollywood reasons and not the right reasons. And you want to give it a chance because maybe that person is great. You know, like we've had lots of unconventional choices that turn out to be really cool. And let me ask you another question real quick. Is it possible that it could go its own way with some things and be really successful at it? And I know some people are going to think I'm crazy when I say that, because it's very odd that simultaneously you're hearing the producers go, we want to be like true to the source material straight off the page, and then they'll talk out of the other side of their face, and I can't remember if it was the showrunner or one of the producers. I haven't kept up real hard with the production with this, but somebody was acting like they've hardly even read the books. So it's like, which is it? But I'm wondering if, I mean, you look at a lot of stuff in this trailer that's not even in the movies and go, well, somebody's read the books. You know what I mean? Like, somebody writing on this has read the books, clearly. They're not just going from the movies and adding crap. But I'm wondering if stuff like the Snape casting isn't like misdirection, so that, maybe this is wishful thinking, but could there be some kind of misdirection with this so that all of us that already know this story, because keep in mind, very few people are going to come into this and not know what happens in Harry Potter.
Right.
And make it an experience where you can still be surprised by something.
Yeah.
And so, what if this Snape looks different and maybe will act a little different and doesn't exactly go where you expect it? He's supposed to be the big mystery, the biggest mystery in that series, or one of the biggest mysteries. I mean, there's the Tom Riddle stuff. I think there's mysteries, but like, one of the big mysteries in Harry Potter is whose side is that guy on?
Yeah.
What if this production wants you as a Harry Potter fan to wonder about that still?
Yeah.
And so they go with just wild casting. And then maybe he'll be more evil this time.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be even less evil somehow. Maybe it's not at all what you're expecting. I don't know.
Or maybe he'll be terrible.
And then or maybe he'll be terrible. And then because that's a wild risk, because the fans think they want the exact story they know already, because again, not fully developed in the films, not fully adapted. And so it's almost like a completionist thing. It's almost like collecting, where you're like, well, we got the movies, but we've never gotten the whole story. Well, you got it in the books. Well, yeah, no, but not in live action. We got to have that for our collection. And then like 20 years from now, maybe we'll get an animation like you're talking about, you know? And then maybe we'll get it like in claymation. And then and then maybe there'll be like a video game series that takes you through everything, and you can...
Then they'll do movies again.
Sure.
Yep. But it'll be 14 movies this time.
Yeah, they'll be like, and then 50 years from now, you'll have the holodeck experience, where like you are Harry Potter,
yes.
and Snape will be like a girl this time.
Yeah.
And...
I do want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
This is getting kind of off topic. Do you care more about gender swapping than race swapping?
Oh, just in general?
In general.
I want to say at face value that that's also a case-by-case thing, but generally speaking, gender is a very different thing than race. Because men and women are just different. Yeah. And so at the like this was you get me back on hot coals here, okay? You get me back to the third rail when you asked me this question, because not everybody agreed with me on the female Silver Surfer thing. There were people that were like, well, her gender, or his or her gender doesn't matter. And I'm like, yes, it does. Like, it's fundamentally a different character as soon as you make it female. So, like, however you feel about that, I don't think it's fair to go Norrin Rad can be either sex. Not true.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you don't care about that character and you're cool with the Silver Surfer being portrayed as a different character, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason that they made it Shala Ball and not Norrin Rad. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's different.
Yeah. I think the best example of gender swapping is in, and I know you haven't watched all of this, but the 2015 live action version of Death Note, where they race swap Nier and Mello, and they make them one character, but she's so good
That you don't care.
that it's like, well, she's the only one that can do it. So they could do it.
And
so.
if it's really good, part of the reason you don't care is because you have other options. It's because it becomes an Elseworld sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you go, well, here's an alternate version of it.
Yeah.
You know? It's like that with Power Rangers 2017, where, like, you've got the race swap with Billy, and I thought they overthought that whole thing with their feeling like they had to do that with the color business. But that Billy was one of the best things about the movie.
Yeah.
And it felt like an alternate thing. It's not replacing your Power Rangers. You see what I'm saying? And so
No, you're right.
this is a little different because this is when you get into the DCU issue. This is when you get into the DCEU didn't feel definitive enough to people the way Snyder handled it, and so people, really including myself, want James Gunn to go in a more kind of traditional classic direction, so we can have the quote unquote definitive versions or as close as we can to these characters on screen. This is like that because people, I mean, it's much different than the DCEU because people like those movies. But people are not going to look at this as and this is why I don't know if the theory I had about Snape is going to actually work out for them, even if that's what they're doing. Because people aren't going to look at this as a cool alternate version. They're going to want it to be the definitive version.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, are you a Superman 2025... You know, trying to be definitive Superman, more off the page, finally make it more comic booky. Or that's just the first example that comes to mind, like that to Man of Steel. Are you trying to be that, or are you Bates Motel in Smallville?
Yeah.
Complete reimagining.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to, because we already have the definitive versions of those things.
Yeah.
This is not that.
Right.
And but it depends on who you talk to. Because for a lot of people of the generation right after mine, the Harry Potter movies are either brilliant or good enough, and they are already definitive. And what's complicated is, for a lot of people, the casting and a lot of the direction that they went with those movies is definitive. It's just not complete. So it's complicated.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, you'd go back in time and you'd do like the Lord of the Rings special edition thing, and you'd add like 9 hours to every movie.
Yeah. That'd be.
But that's not how reality works, so you can't do that.
Right.
Oh, actually, that'll be the next next thing. We were talking about how like every few years we'll completely reimagine Harry Potter again.
Yeah.
We'll do the AI thing.
Right. Exactly.
Where it will be all those actors in AI, and it'll be exactly those movies, except we'll fill in all the gaps.
Oh yeah. Here's news. Did you hear about this? They're shutting down Sora. AI, the big video AI. Yep.
Fascinating.
Yep.
We may have to talk about that next time. Did I gong that super chat?
I think you. I think
I
you
can't.
did.
I don't even remember hitting anything with the stick.
You can hit it again.
Yeah. I'm gonna feel better about that. What did I drop? Oh, I lost the nacelle.
Ah, I thought that was a pen or something.
These things fall off so easily. Jeffrey Combs looked at me with abject horror
He did.
when he knocked the nacelle off. I was like, no, it's okay. They come off really, really easily. And then I had to take the ship out of the bag to pull a comic out to have somebody sign. And I didn't notice that one of the nacelles had popped out, had popped off, and it went like a couple tables across.
Oh, crap.
And somebody almost tripped over it, and like I had to like crawl over and grab it. I hate this thing. Well, and I thought about bringing it without the nacelles, but then I was thinking like, well, but then he's gonna sign it, and he's gonna be like, your ship is broken. He's gonna be like, you broke your little ships. And so I don't know. You overthink these things,
Yeah.
like the producers of the Harry Potter show.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. Anything else you want to say about that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to break now. If you guys want to ask us or mention anything else about the movie or about that trailer, it's not a movie. Actually, you know what? Real quick before we go to break, would you just check and see if there's any comments worth reading about this? We got 3 minutes before the hour. And since we've taken it to an hour, we might as well do that.
John says... the movies are
Are we a
flawed.
speak and say now?
Yeah.
What is happening?
The movies are flawed, but that cast is what I think of. The trailer was strange, but I'll watch it. Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It's just like
that kid looks excellent.
You see Hagrid, and then he turns around, and it's like, whoa, that's weird. That's not Hagrid.
Really. And he's sort of doing that voice, but you can tell he's playing it like even a little bit more jovial and whimsical. And
yeah,
I get the sense that he is, I don't know, like trying to be maybe a little less gruff about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He looks more like he stepped out of a storybook or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that whoever put together the subtitles for the trailer messed up Ollivander. Did you see this? So Harry's in it's Ollivander, right? I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. In the shop with the wands.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm trying to play it in the shop with the wands. And he says, we'll be expecting great things from you. Most of that's voiceover. And then you see the character. But in the subtitles that somebody wrote, it says Dumbledore. That's not Dumbledore talking. You mook.
Oh, man, that's funny.
How do you mess that up?
Yep. He's Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Anyway, anything else people are saying about this that we should mention real quick? Because I saw a lot of discourse, and I just...
Well, there's a lot about other things, like how YouTube channels suck.
Well, sure. I mean, there's that.
Yep.
Alex Barron, race is arbitrary, gender isn't. Yeah, and race is not historically arbitrary. Obviously, like people can be affected in their daily lives differently by what their race is. But like genetically, how it affects behavior naturally, all of that is arbitrary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In a way that gender isn't, where like men and women are, like as people equals, but like we're wired very differently.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you make a male character a female character, she just isn't going to be the same character.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to break. We'll be back in 4 minutes. And then Jason is going to talk about something that hopefully some of you guys are interested in. I'm interested in, and I'm excited to see what I already know what this one is. I'm excited to see this list Jason's about to bring us.
Yeah.
And then we'll take more of your questions if you guys want to talk about anything. We'll do rants at the end of the show today. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. And we're back. It's time for the second half of tonight's Captain Logan show. Real quick, before we get into Jason's segment, I wanted to amend something I said just because I'm feeling self-conscious about it. Something I said right at the end of last segment, which is I said that we were talking about race and gender. Not at all controversial and heavy topics in this day and age. And I said that your race, unlike your gender, is not like any genetically different in the way that it is with gender. It is, but in more superficial ways. I should say that, right? Yeah. Where like people of certain races like sometimes tend to be maybe like a little bit more athletic, or like you'll have different bone structures, or like you can sometimes like tell a black voice as opposed to another race, even if that person isn't putting on any sort of an accent, right? But in more superficial ways, like the brain wiring is not is not dramatically different like it is between men and women, because men and women are generally wired to do different things in the is like the animals that we were developed to be, right? The provider versus the nurturer, et cetera, et cetera. Race is not like that. Yeah. And so that's making no comment about what people should be allowed to do and go off and make their own way in the world. Obviously, it's just to say that historically, this is how we're built. Yeah. Anyway. I just want to get that.
You're correct.
I just want to get that out there real quick.
I do think with race, you're a little you are wired differently too, just based on how you grow up.
Yes.
That definitely changes too, but like.
No, of course, but
I feel like that is also more superficial than just like.
But this is a nature nurture argument. I'm talking about the nature side as opposed to the nurture side. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into your segment. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so I was thinking about this. Dad made a video, like...
We're switching gears harder than we've ever switched them here.
Dad made a video, like, throw that out 12 years ago with the Jeff.
Yeah.
On top 10 Weird Al originals. And...
original songs.
Original songs.
So that means not parodies.
Not parodies, because... And you made a really good point in that video.
Oh, thanks.
Where it was like, it feels like Weird Al is very much known for his parodies, and he doesn't get enough credit for his originals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think are a lot of the time his best stuff. So,
and where a lot of his real musical achievement is.
Yeah.
Because he does these pastiches of different bands, and so he shows that he can not only mimic them, but he can write like them.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my 10, and then I have 10 runners-up that I'll just kind of throw out.
Real quick, Obsidian is asking about the Supergirl teaser. I didn't think that was dropping until tomorrow. Is that dropped already?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's talking about Corn Sweat, and I didn't think it was out yet.
Well, there's a teaser. It's a trailer for a trailer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. I always wait till the actual trailer comes out.
Yep.
Next week, we're probably doing a Mario Galaxy review in this slot. That movie comes out this weekend. Or this week, and we're going to see it over the weekend. Yeah. So we may try to sneak in like we did a couple of weeks ago. Well, what was that? What was the trailer review we did? Sorry, I can't even think right now. Remember we did a show that was just you and I for 25 minutes. Or sorry, like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Anyway, we might do that with this if we have a chance.
It was Spider-Man.
Thank you. God, I just couldn't think of it.
Yep.
Anyway, I got my head in so many different places right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
talk about Weird Al.
So yeah, let's get back to this. Go ahead, sir.
So I came up with 20. I'm gonna do my top 10, and then I'll throw out my other 10. So yeah, definitely switching gears. Number 10, I have his style parody of Real Big Fish, which is your horoscope for today.
I didn't even know that's what that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was more of just kind of a totally original thing.
Yeah. I love Real Big Fish. They're one of my favorite ska bands, and your horoscope for today, which I knew. This is one of the few where I knew the style parody before I knew the band that he was style parodying.
Yeah, wild.
This is on Running with Scissors. Wait, no.
Yeah.
It's on. Is it?
The horoscope's running
Okay.
Running with Scissors. Yeah.
Yeah, which is one of your favorite albums.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, it's very fun. He just it's exactly what the title is. At 9 I have.
Sorry, I'm just gonna play with the sword while you're talking.
Sure. At 9 I have.
It's sitting right here. I don't know how to mess around with this, but anyways.
At 9 I have Since You've Been Gone.
Since You've Been Gone,
which
that's a doo-wop song.
It is, and it's a cappella. It's completely a cappella, and I wish he did more a cappella stuff.
Me too.
And the best part in that is besides
it's very short.
Yeah, which I really like actually because it's not too long.
It's got a good punchline at the end.
It does. Besides the punchline, I really like where the little interludes where he just goes "Ooh, ba 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 ba." I really like that.
Yeah, he's kind of making fun of that whole thing.
Yeah,
but like really artistically.
Yeah, no, it's great. But the whole,
or I should say, like technically impressive.
It's almost just as bad as if you were still here.
If you were still here.
That line's great.
That's the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
And jokes are always funnier when you explain them. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yes, and at 8 I have Bob.
Yeah, I knew that would be on your list. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is also Running with Scissors.
Yeah. Bob is all palindromes, and it's great. And it's palindromes, and he rhymes with them, and
yeah, it's nuts.
And it's a style pair, and he is sounding like Bob Dylan at the same time, and it's one of my favorite videos from him.
I don't know if this is gonna make sense. That one feels even more like a tribute to a guy than just a pastiche, than just a parody.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as fast as I've been going, I wish I had just done the 20.
Well, you could just throw the other 10 in at the end and be like, this is what I wrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it. Go ahead.
At 7, I have You Make Me.
I love that song.
I love that song. It's Oingo Boingo.
Underrated.
Very underrated. It's on one of his best albums.
That's What You Do to Me.
Even worse. And
that's one of my favorites.
You
know what though? It sounds like it could have been on an earlier album.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was one where I didn't appreciate until I listened to Oingo Boingo.
Which is because I never really have.
Yeah.
But I like that song a lot.
And it just works so well.
Is he doing the voice Elfman is doing?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more about the instrumentation.
Because he gets that kind of weird yodel thing in that. Yeah. Which is what you do to me.
That is very much what Elfman does.
Is it really?
He does that a lot.
Great. I gotta finally listen to some of that.
Yeah. I'll play you an album of theirs at some point.
Sure.
They've I think his best originals are his style parodies, where he gets really close and it's great. At 6, this is kind of low, but I have Albuquerque at 6.
That is a little low.
Yeah. It's because it's 11 minutes long, and I'm not going to put it in a playlist or anything, so...
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's
for your own purposes, it's not as useful.
It's fun for, like... To like watch people do on karaoke and stuff, but like
which I've done. Do you think I've done on the show actually or on the channel?
Have you?
Do you think it's too? Yeah, I did Albuquerque once in the style of a superhero rewind read.
That's great.
It was difficult to keep in time
Yeah.
doing it like that. But anyway, I do you, is that song not any higher partly because you think it's kind of overrated? Like, are you a little tired of it coming up?
Kind of, and also I just like all these better.
Okay, well, fair enough.
And,
It's your list, man.
And Running with Scissors isn't my favorite Weird Al album. It's really good, but I don't go back to it that much. At 5, I have I'll Sue Ya.
Yeah.
Which is one of his best style parodies, one of his best pastiches. Where
And you're a giant fan of that band.
I am.
So that's a Rage
That
Against the
helps.
Machine pastiche.
Yes, and it's so good, and he's making fun of the first album especially, and it works so well.
It's a complete fusion of the first 2 tracks.
It is. Yep.
Go listen to the first 2 tracks on that album, and that's that song.
Yep.
And it's really impressive how well they're blended.
Yep. And it's just a really funny concept. Like it's one of those it's one of those Weird Al like list songs, which is his best stuff, where he just lists things. But it's all the people he'll sue.
I've never had this thought before. One of the reasons that song is funny conceptually, and I don't even know if he did this on purpose or if it was just, here's a funny idea for a song. Who could I go to? And it'll be funny because it just sounds frivolous and not like a subject they would do. But
it is really like angry.
Yeah. What's hilarious to me about it is that that's a protest band.
Yeah.
And he's doing a song from a protest band about litigation.
Yeah.
So they're like, F the system, and he's like, F you, I'm going to use the system to go after you, to litigate you. It's like it's kind of the antithesis of the way that band thinks. That band's like, get out of the system, get off the grid. Like, you can't trust any of it.
You're right.
I've never had this thought before. But like they're not gonna sing about suing people.
Yeah.
They're gonna sing about the idiots that are doing the suing, that make everything about litigation, right?
Yep. Nope, you're right.
I actually appreciate that song a smidge better after I said that.
Yeah. At 4, and this is also kind of low. I don't know, but I have Hardware Store. At 4.
I thought that could be your 2.
Yeah, these.
Well, I say that I don't
is
actually
so
right
good,
off
though.
know what your number 1's gonna be.
My number 1 is my favorite Weird Al song of all time.
Well, as soon as you say it, I'll be like, oh yes, of course.
Hardware Store is great because it's impossible to do.
Hardware Store is his greatest technical achievement,
Yeah.
hands down, with the possible exception of the Yoda chant on stage.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially after he added an extra, 2.5 minutes to it.
And you knew all the
The
words.
Yoda chant is ridiculous. Yes, because I put together... maybe I've talked about this on camera. I put together a performance of Yoda in high school, my senior year, for for Encore at our high school, which would Free State in Lawrence, Kansas, which was their, I'm sure they still do it, but it was their big spring rock show. And you had to audition, and so you'd put together an act, and you had to audition. And I got a group together, and we did Yoda, and we put the chant in the middle of it, and we memorized it. We learned it. I still remember some of it.
Yeah. That's great.
I still remember da turret not gigati to cut. I remember some of it, but I had all of it memorized.
Oh man.
And then I saw him. I've seen Weird Al in concert 4 times. I saw him again years later. Yoda comes up, and I'm waiting for the chant, and I'm chanting along with it. And there's this lady behind me that's just flabbergasted that I know it. And then Weird Al gets to a portion of it I've never heard before, and I was like, crap, I can't keep going. I don't know what the rest of this is.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, Hardware Store has that insane bridge where he just keeps going.
It's so impressive. And the writing in it's impressive, too.
It is, yeah.
I just love writing such a frivolous song about something that I don't know how anybody could get that excited about.
Yeah.
Even Machine, Gearheads, and people that just like building things. Can't see
Brandon.
anybody get that. You know what? Never mind. I do know someone that could get that excited about a hardware store. That song was written from the perspective of Brandon Grimm.
Brandon.
That is true.
Yes. At 3, I have Everything You Know Is Wrong.
Nah. Again, I thought that could have been higher, but yes.
Which is a style parody of TMBG, which is my favorite band. So, yep, that makes sense.
For
And it's just
years,
so good.
I couldn't confirm that it was supposed to be Team. And then he finally did an interview where he brought it up, and I was like, I knew it.
Recently,
There's a lot of Everything You Know Is Wrong. I'm sorry, Everything Right Is Wrong Again in that song.
Yes, and there's a lot of everything. The like the guitar, like, oh man, it's so great.
The drum machine
Yep.
and
the guitar stabs, like the down and
the horn work.
The yeah.
Do you remember that bridge? Like, that's very Pink Album.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But what were you
and like the organ at the beginning and everything.
Yes.
And all the accordion and yeah. Recently, a couple weeks ago, on the Office Hours podcast, Weird Al and TMBG like got together on a podcast together, and they talked about Everything You Know Is Wrong, and Flans said something really funny where he's like,
"You gotta send me this."
I did.
Oh, I missed it.
I'll resend it to you.
Okay, resend it to me.
Yeah, because
yeah, you told me this happened, and like that's a big deal to me because they've never talked about it, and they always seem to kind of shy away from Weird Al in general because they don't like novelty music. They don't want to be thought of as a novelty band, and so I feel like they were always kind of like sticking their nose up.
That was
Weird
Flans'
Al.
thing in the '90s, but
Dude, he was talking like this in the mid 2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sure. So, John Flansburgh was like, I listened to this and I was like, this is just, a song I would like. And
great.
Without even knowing that it was making fun of us. So it makes me be like, oh, I like my own stuff, I guess. Like,
oh, that's cool that he said that.
Yeah.
But it's not making fun of them.
No.
It's really not.
Yeah.
In fact, I would argue that most of the parodies are making fun of the song.
But then the
pastiches are what are the dictionary definition of that word. They're tributes to those bands.
Except for my number 1. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, go ahead.
But my number 2 first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is Melanie.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
The harmonies are genius.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And that is not a pastiche or anything. That's just an original song. And yeah, it's just so good. And
you kind of wonder what a whole Weird Al album getting away from the parody and pastiche would be like. Like, what would he write? Like, I'm sure it would still be funny, a lot of it. It would be kind of quirky. It would probably feel like a Team EG, like an early Team EG album because it would be so melodic.
Yeah.
Because the Giants have gotten too experimental, and they've gotten away from... They've gotten too experimental, and they've got too much stuff that kind of sounds the same. And...
Especially now.
Weird Al would show up and make, like, Lincoln Again, or Flood Again, or something like that.
Yeah. He should. I mean, he's not going to, but he should. Melanie also, like, is very nostalgic for me.
Which is funny because that subject matter is so messed up.
I know, he's really
it's
funny,
so wrong.
But
you're listening to that 5 years old.
Because I didn't know.
You know what the hell it was about.
Yeah. Speaking of...
Like, that song is about kidnapping a girl you're interested in.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's messed up, but the melody's wonderful.
Speaking of messed
up,
up...
the melody of Melanie is wonderful. I'm wondering what this is, actually.
Speaking of messed up Weird Al songs, my number 1 is Trigger Happy.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew you
loved
my
favorite
Trigger
Weird Al
Happy.
song of all
Yeah.
time.
That is the second track on...
Off the Deep End.
Off the Deep End.
Which is also a very nostalgic album for me, and this song is part of that. It's just so funny, and I know that's Weird Al, but like...
Doesn't that album open with Can't Watch This?
No, it opens with Smells Like Nirvana.
Oh! What's Can't Watch This?
That's also on that album.
Oh, it's just later?
Yeah.
Okay. My TV makes me so bored, it makes me say, oh my lord.
So, Trigger Happy is Beach Boys, and he gets it spot on. Like, he gets everything. He gets the, like, everything drops out for the low voice, for, like, the 4 counts, and then, like, every Beach Boys thing, because every early Beach Boys song sounds the same, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
And so what he did was he did that, but he made it about guns, and it's the best thing ever. And I remember, like, actually,
it's kind of funny for a similar reason to what I was saying with Rage, where it's just such the antithesis of what they write about.
Right, exactly. And I think it's I'm remembering, like, actually listening to the lyrics for the first time, because I'm like, I knew that song for the longest time, but I didn't really understand it.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'm like, oh, this is actually really funny. So yeah, that's my number one.
There's some really good firearm research in that song.
Yes, it is.
Like, he did his homework.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, runners up.
Yeah.
1 more minute.
Are you going 20 to 11 now, or are you
I'm
just
going 11 to 20.
11 20? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, one more minute.
1 more minute.
I'm gonna assume in this bottom 10, you're probably gonna have Dare to Be Stupid.
Yes. Dare to Be
Because
Stupid.
I was a little surprised not to see that in your top 10.
Yeah. It's not my favorite, but I like it
Well,
a lot.
and I don't know if you're even a big fan of that band.
Devo, I love Devo.
Okay.
Um,
Because Devo famously called that the most beautiful thing they'd ever heard.
Yep.
And were angry that they didn't write it.
Yep. 1 more minute. Baby's in Love with Eddie Vedder.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Love this song.
That's, I think, the second song on Running with Scissors, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then
That has a great payoff. The Alanis Morissette joke at the end is wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder, and then Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Spot on. Wonderful.
Dare to Be Stupid.
Yep.
Frank's 2000-inch TV.
I love Frank's 2000-inch TV. That gets stuck in my head. Is that a pastiche of anything in particular?
R.E.M. Early R.E.M.
It never occurred to me that was supposed to be an R.E.M. song.
That's why you like it so much.
Of course it is. Of course.
And if you go back...
Well, now I'm having what Flanzy did, where it's like, I just like the song. I didn't know who it was. Yeah.
And knowing that, go back and listen to the guitar on it, because it's spot on.
Oh, I feel like an idiot. I never realized that.
Don't download the song.
Don't Download the Song is your mom's favorite.
Yep.
Original Weird Al song.
The theme from UHF.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guitar riff. It's so good.
You're not gonna agree with me on this.
Oh, that's all right.
Virus alert.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So-
I'll never understand the people's fascination with that song.
Okay, my fascination with that song
Yeah.
is because it's one of his best style parodies. It's and knowing that you don't like this song, you won't like this band.
Yeah.
Because this is Sparks,
I don't know what that is.
which is a band from the 70s.
Oh.
That they're still making music.
See, I thought you were gonna say it was a style parody of some more recent band from then that I didn't know.
No, and he gets spot on. Like,
it's just over my head then.
yeah, and it's over everyone's head because nobody knows Sparks, and everyone loves that song.
Well, then it's kind of that TMBG thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like, maybe more people know TMBG, but and there's a lot of crossover with Weird Al. But I guarantee you, a lot of people heard that song and had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also it's super catchy.
It irritates me to no end. It's grating, actually. So I'm like, stop
Before someone gets hurt.
I hate that melody.
It's the most Sparks melody.
Yeah, I hate. I'm not indifferent to that. I hate that song.
I love that song. Sorry. Why Does This Always Happen to Me? Which is Ben Folds. Pastiche.
It never occurred to me that was supposed to be Ben Folds.
Yep. And then Calling in Sick was my number 20, which is his grunge song.
Yeah.
Calling in Sick.
I love that song too.
I really like that.
Well, I like most of the songs on your list.
You like all of them except for one.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Poodle Hat is where that a second to last song is.
Why Does This Always Happen to Me?
Why Does This Always Happen to Me? That's Poodle Hat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't I'm a little rusty. I haven't been on a Weird Al kick in a while. I haven't
Me neither,
listened
really,
to,
but
to
I
a
was
lot
like,
of stuff. So we're reminiscing, and all this is coming back to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got about half an hour left. If we did a full 2 hours, we were gonna try to go to more of an hour and a half tonight, but we'll take some questions if you guys want to talk about anything. But we'll probably wrap up early if there's not a lot of extra questions and super chats. I know we had a super chat right at the start of the show, and there were, I think, one or two decent questions right at the very beginning.
There was somebody.
If we wanted to hit that.
There was also somebody who said that he just put in a Patreon question.
Okay.
Which would be for March.
Okay. Let me pull that up real quick. But feel free to go ahead and hit that first super chat if you want to.
Yes. This is from Manu YouTube. I'm halfway through rewatching The Mania. Thanks.
So, that's an inside joke. Well, that didn't reverberate for any amount of time. That's kind of an inside joke. The last Mania we did, he was 25 minutes behind us.
Oh.
Through the whole commentary. And he would comment on things we said half an hour earlier. And he'd be like, ha, I totally agree with this thing Captain Logan said half an hour ago. And the joke was, I'm 25 minutes behind. At some point, I'll catch up. And we said, that's not how time works. So that's why he left that. Thanks, Manny. That's very funny. There is a new one here. SS Jerry. No, wait. Sorry. We did that before, I think. Amalgam Nation. Why has there not been another Power Rangers Battle of the Grid game? Do you have any ideas about what you guys would like in their character story stages? I don't know. For me, it's more of a question of why didn't we expand even more on it and maybe just do another wave of content? I don't know that we need a second one because that game was built in the first place to be kind of a living fighting game. Like, it wasn't really... Now, could you improve on that engine? Absolutely. Like, the menus and stuff especially are really clunky and, like, it plays like a phone game. Not the actual fighting game, but just the way it runs.
Yeah.
It glitches out, like, because isn't it made by the same people that did the phone game? Yeah. And so it looks like I don't know anything about how they put that together, but it almost looks like they're working with like the same software or something.
I think
the way it glitches out in the middle. It's like this doesn't look like it's intended for console. It's weird. So I would love a Battle for the Grid 2 or call it something else that is more fluid just in how it runs, like an Injustice or something. That would be nice.
I know what I want.
But besides that, I would just love a bigger roster.
Yeah, I know what I want.
What's that?
A modern Megazord fighter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that'd be great. Or find some way to get Megazords like into that game. It would almost have to be a whole other play style, though, right?
Like Legacy Wars, yeah.
You'd almost have to go like, you have this mode for Rangers, you have this mode for Megazords.
Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't do that, because that's what Legacy Wars did. So that's what the phone game did.
That's true.
So,
but it felt a bit like an afterthought. And you only
it totally did.
You only had like 3 or 4 Megazords you could play as.
They've added like so many.
Oh, have they really? Yeah. I haven't played it in a very long time, because I got a little addicted to it. I mean, it's a phone game.
Yeah. And
so I was just playing it too much, and I decided to quit. But
I'm putting it in it.
Yeah, Freddie was real into it for a while. Could they get goofy with it and go, screw it, we'll just have Megazords at the same size as the Rangers, and let them just be characters in it? Why not? Well, the Genesis game didn't do that. The Genesis game said there are monsters that can that play exactly the same way that you can play against the Megazords, but if you pick a Megazord, all the Rangers fall away and you can't pick them.
Oh, okay.
That's how that game did it. But anyway, no, Megazord Fighters are a really good call. But like, what other kinds of things would you want to see? Like for me, just make a roster, just double that roster. It was really lame when it started that there were so few characters to play as.
Yeah.
Considering how massive that universe is. Well, two things: massive universe. Three things made by Enway, so they're already doing this game with a huge roster of things, and then just the fact that you're picking 3 characters, but there's only 15 to pick from.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It was like you're gonna Marvel versus Capcom it, but you're not gonna have a 63 character like it needs to be a bigger roster.
And their character choices were just weird.
I mean, some of them were pretty clear and on point.
Yeah, but then Dragon Armor Trini and freaking Cat Ranger and then freaking
yeah, but Cat Ranger plays great. Like,
no, you're right, but they were weird and like Cenozoic Blue and like characters that were getting pushed.
They did that because they had the rights to because they're the only people that still hold the rights to the movie stuff and the shows and the comics and everything, and they're allowed to still use movie stuff. Nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
That is the only company that has a contract that allows for that, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I just want the roster from Battle for the Grid in it.
Sure. No, that'd be great.
I just want everybody from.
Now, I will say, if you're gonna do something from that movie, why on earth wouldn't it be Cenozoic Red as opposed to Blue? Why on earth would you not have just Zordon? And then you're just playing as Red Ranger from that movie.
Yeah, it would be great if you added more comic stuff like Comic Zordon. That would be great.
Yeah,
Red
absolutely.
Ranger would be insane.
Yeah.
Which they did in the phone game.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that.
Yep, pretty sure.
Well, I mean, dude, the Omegas. I mean, there's so much. Okay, a sequel to that game should just be the comics. I mean, that'd be the way to do it. There's already some comic stuff in that. But you could kind of make everybody happy that way because you do all that great comic stuff, but it wouldn't have to be as Mighty Morphin focused because there's so much. If you just make a Shattered Grid game, so you got Battle for the Grid, you just make a sequel called Shattered Grid. Shattered for the Grid. No, you make a sequel called Shattered Grid, and then you bring in all of the non-Mighty Morphin stuff that was in that, plus really any character, like any Rangers you feel like doing. And then you just focus on the comic exclusive stuff because that stuff feels like it's made for a fighting game anyway, right? And then you could get like the cat in there from the Omega Cat.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Can't remember.
Now I'm actually not even sure if that's a boy or a girl cat. I think that's a male cat.
I think.
Kia? No, Kia's another thing. Kia's another comic book thing.
I don't remember.
Anyway, but yeah, you could get Dane in there. That'd be pretty cool. People love Dane.
Yeah.
What you could do is you could have the same roster you have now because Shattered Grid influenced that game real hard. That's why you got Jen Scott's there from the beginning. That's why you got Draken. But then you just have the same roster you have in Battle for the Grid, and then you add all the rest of the comic stuff. There you go.
Yep.
Sold. But yeah, I would like to see them add to that. But you're right, they did make some weird choices.
Yeah.
And then of course they had to do the Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, but those are great.
I'll never understand that.
Street Fighter Rangers are really funny. I don't know why they exist.
It's just weird if you're going to do that and not cross with anything else. Like, that's all you're going to cross with? Okay. And I'm partly saying that because you're taking so many of your cues from Capcom that if you're going to cross with that, it needs to turn into a crossover game.
Yeah.
Or don't do it. It's weird.
Yep.
And then I mean, obviously you gotta get licenses to work out. Enway seems to be pretty good at making licenses work out. But so who knows what they're able to get their hands on? Who knows if they can play with Nickelodeon. But like try to cross as much of the stuff that Power Rangers has crossed in comics. Get the Ninja Turtles in there. Get Godzilla in there with Megazords. If you had Megazords, that'd be pretty great.
Yeah.
Again, who knows what rights you can get. Do the Justice League. Get as much crossover stuff as you can. Because Power Rangers is crossed with lots of things now.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. And it sucks because I don't really play that game that often.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just not great at it. Is
Fred is
part of
really
it,
good at
but
it.
it's fun. Anyway, what else are people talking about?
Yeah. We've got some questions from the beginning of the show that are good.
We can hit a couple of those and then we'll go ahead and finish up.
All right. Manu YouTube says you guys should do specific directors manias. That'd be fascinating.
It's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. I am tempted every time we do a mania to just turn the channel into Mania Channel. Just 5 nights a week we just watch movies.
Yeah.
That's what we do now. I did a poll recently to see how people felt about keeping the schedule we have now or focusing more on, kind of one thing like that. And overwhelmingly, our audience really doesn't want us to do that. But sometimes I'll think about it just because, and don't get me wrong, I love talking comics. I love what we do on this show. But it's that balance of, like, doing what you want to do and keeping the audience you have interested, and then potential for growing the channel. I've been at this for 17 years.
Yeah.
And we have, like, a little growth. By the way, I haven't even talked about this. We just hit 36,000 last week.
Oh.
And so, like, we're averaging 50 to 75 subscribers a month is all we do now. And it's been like that for a lot of years. Although we did have a period where we were completely stagnant and we had zero growth. And we actually had negative growth for I don't know, 6 months. Mm-hmm. And so we're back in the positive, so that's good. Occasionally people will find us with various things we're doing.
Yeah.
But I think we'd have real growth potential if we just were pumping commentaries out.
Yeah.
And so occasionally I think about going that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe doing like a year like that, Like we just have 1 year we do nothing but manias.
Yeah.
Or a lot of manias, and then just, we break the monotony of that up with like, okay, we're gonna do some comic reviews,
So
So
if you hit 100,000 subscribers, are you jumping out of a plane again?
Yeah, but I'll be like 90.
Uh-huh.
See, that's the
Jumping out of a
problem.
plane, yeah.
Nah, I probably won't do that again.
Nope. You'll go to space.
Yes.
And then you'll be like
That's what
Shatner
I'll
and you'll
do.
like talk about it, but it'll be really awkward. Shadooby.
Anyway.
Okay. Braden Atkinson.
The Universal and say wins the race. I mean, I'm not like chomping at the bit to get to 100,000 or anything. It's just that I don't want to get too inside baseball. Like I say, it's just always that that kind of sweet spot between like the business side and just the fun side.
Yeah.
Like what I do is in such a weird spot between job and hobby. I mean, like it's basically a hobby that makes me some money.
Yeah.
And it's just we could maybe like build a little. So like I'm not in a hurry to get to a certain number. It's just a little like just think about it from my perspective, like making this stuff. I'm kind of putting kid gloves on because I don't want to sound like I'm like begging for cash or something. It's not that. It's just like you bring in some new blood that's interested in you, wants to support the channel, and now maybe there's like 5 or 6 new patrons, or maybe there's like a few people that do the super chat thing a little bit, and so you do have to think about that side of it a little bit. But also like how quickly would you get burnt out on doing movie commentaries every day? And I don't think I could get away with it being flat out mania all the time, where it's like I'm gonna watch this movie I've never seen, or I'm gonna watch a movie I haven't seen in a long time. Like 2 weeks of that, sure, but a whole year of I don't know the material.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think it would actually be not harder, but it would be a job where I'd have to do more legwork every day than I do now.
Yeah.
Because I think you'd have to get up in the morning, watch a movie, take some notes, and then watch the movie again in the evening, and you do that Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
But there are things about that are very appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't me trying to find that magic bullet for, how do I suddenly skyrocket the channel?
Yeah. You should do Superhero Rewind
Such
Mania.
a magic bullet does not exist. Sorry, I'm sorry, what?
You should do Superhero Rewind Mania.
What, where we just watch rewinds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the most self-indulgent and laziest possible thing, and it would be cringy too, because I would be like, I don't like the way my voice was real nasally back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think I pronounce words weird when I'm younger, and then I'm like, dude, slow down, you're talking too fast. Like I talk fast when I'm nervous. You go back to those early rewinds, it's like, you know why these are 10 minutes? They should have been 20, but you were talking like somebody had a gun to your head. Calm down, Eminem. Calm the hell down. Danaverse, if Cap gets 100,000 subscribers, he should run a 100-mile marathon. Maybe not 100, but okay. I'll run a marathon while doing Smallville commentaries.
Yes.
Okay, great. 100,000 subscribers, Cap will finally sleep on camera. I love that that's the opposite of the last suggestion.
No, you'll finally swim on camera.
Finally. Yeah, it'll be the first time DJ's been on in a couple of years. He's like, we're getting in the pool. Busted Sim, Cap resisting the heck out of being a reaction channel. Yeah, yep. I still have reservation about it. Anyway, okay, anything else that you think we should talk about before we get to rants?
We have another question I wanted to do.
Well, go ahead.
Braden Atkinson, what sci-fi tropes are your favorite, and what sci-fi tropes are you tired of seeing?
Okay. I wish I had time to prep for this one.
Yeah.
That's a great question. That would have been a really good lead-in topic. I like that a lot.
He sent it at the beginning.
Let's hit it real quick, but make a note somewhere that might be a thing to revisit.
Okay.
And maybe do a show on, or maybe do just an opening bit on, like spend another 20 minutes on it. Mm-hmm. So favorite tropes and least favorite. See, the word trope is weird because like motifs and subjects and themes come to mind more readily than
trope.
What you might consider a trope.
Yeah, I don't.
So like, and tropes that irritate me come to me quicker than ones I really like. So I'll start there. I'm gonna need to kind of back myself into the garage with this. The first thing that comes to mind with sci-fi tropes that irritate me is you develop a character for a long time, where they're not stagnant. They actually grow over time, and then you do a plot point where everyone. This is very specific, but it actually happens in multiple things. You do a kind of like one more day style amnesia for everybody else thing, where they don't remember that character or they don't remember things about that character, but they still react to him like he's completely natural, even though he's completely different from the way he was at the start.
Yeah.
Angel had this.
Really? Oh.
And I know that's not exactly sci-fi, but it's genre. Angel had this with Wesley, and I feel like it's a thing that comes up in shows, where and just like amnesia stuff in general.
Yeah, I don't. Like it.
I think maybe the larger trope with this is the is like the actor that's still there playing a different version of the character that you have been watching, or that everybody else is reacting to differently.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
These actually might be kind of two different tropes, but
yeah.
In general, it's like grand amnesia is kind of a trope I don't care for.
Here's a trope. I don't know if you like or not like this.
Can I throw out the one maybe my favorite? Evil Twin.
You like Evil Twin?
I like Evil Twin a lot. I mean, it's
done right.
It's done poorly some, but some of my favorite plots end up in sci-fi things end up being kind of Evil Twin.
Do you like cage fights?
No, that's a big one I don't like.
Okay.
Underground Fight Club is a trope I hate.
I don't know if you like
which we've
not
talked
like
about
this.
ad nauseum.
The hot chick who's always the scientist's daughter.
Yeah. Is it because you don't buy she can do science?
Yeah, Yeah, and it's always like the scientist always has a hot daughter. Like, I don't know why.
That's awesome. I never thought about this. You're so right.
Mm-hmm.
The scientist does always have a hot daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good point. But yeah, Busted Sim, that kind of starts with TOS, the evil twin thing.
Yeah.
What?
I can't remember the name of that episode.
I mean, like, I know it. I don't know.
Is it Enemy Within?
Enemy Within, thank you. Yeah. And you know what's really funny? First season of Stargate SG-1
Yeah.
has an episode, and it's also fun. It's not as good as that, but it's looking at that. It has an episode where Jack O'Neill splits into two versions. And then an episode or two right after or right before that, there's an episode called The Enemy Within. And then it is not the episode where that happens.
Oh, okay. Weird.
It's really funny. Archie Godzilla, Angel did the amnesia trope really well considering the season prior, plus it was done before it became an overused trope. I disagree, because what I couldn't deal with it was he was still kind of like gruff and brooding, and no one knew how he got there, but they all just accepted it. I couldn't deal with that. Anyway, a little prep time, I could come up with some better answers, but
yeah,
that's a great question.
We
anyway,
can revisit it.
We should totally revisit this, and I'll write some things down. Maybe we could do like top fives or something.
Sure,
and that'd be good. But I need some time to think about it. You like causality loops?
I do. I love causality loops.
And I like multiverses, but they're overdone and everyone hates them now. Yeah. But like, I used to be a big interdimensional guy.
Well, you wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah, I mean, in my heart of hearts, I still... I think that's part of the evil twin thing, is I like meeting yourself from another dimension.
Yeah,
I find that interesting.
I prefer meeting yourself through time.
Sure, I think that's better. I can put that in the same category, I think. Because I have a love-hate relationship with time travel.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Just because that gets real headachy.
Yeah.
And gimmicky, and you're not always telling a story with it. You know?
Yeah.
On the flip side, I do get sick of clone plots.
Yep.
Like, sometimes clones are cool, but I don't like the twist of, oh my god, it was a clone the whole time.
Okay, so you like Evil Twin, but you don't like it when it's a clone.
I don't like it when it's a surprise that it's a clone, usually.
Yeah.
Some of this gets to comic book stuff, but it happens in other places.
Also, I talked about this when I reviewed this.
Like, you like similitude and Enterprise more than I do, and that's part of it. It's that whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting sick of the thing with the Fallout series where it'll be like because that show is set like 219 years in the future, right? And so
it's a very specific number.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's but it jumps between it's mostly there, but it does flashbacks to before the bomb. And it'll be like, "Oh man, this character was actually there 219 years before, and it does it like 10 times." And it's like, "Stop."
Oh, and then there's just the big structural trope that I don't care for, which is you see this like big, exciting, horrible thing that happens in Medias Res, and then we got to jump back 24 hours and catch up to it.
You don't like that?
I get real damn sick of that.
Breaking Bad.
Because it can just be way too... There are exceptions to every rule.
Okay.
And Breaking Bad does it in a really... Usually anyway, in a really cool, non-linear kind of way, where they'll do it and then it's just episodes before you get to that thing. What I'm talking about is the formulaic thing, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, particularly in comics. We do it way too much in comics, but we also do it in sci-fi TV a lot, where it's kind of the cause and effect thing, but you have to do it in cause and effect because you're actually moving forward. You didn't start over to see how we got there. We're actually in the next loop. And so you think you're in that, but you're not. That's why it works there.
It's you're wondering how I got in the situation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Usually. There are exceptions. But the reason I don't care for it is just because it's so formulaic, and you can kind of set your watch by when we're going to finally catch up, and you just feel like you're being kind of toyed with, you know, and like you don't trust that what it feels like some of the time is that you don't trust that the journey to get there is interesting enough to lead with it.
Yeah. Well, they just need action at the beginning usually, but like
that's not true though, because when we're talking like Star Trek, like Buffy, that again, not exactly
Star Trek
science fiction, but like, oh yeah, I mean not as much as Gate, like Stargate does it quite a bit, but
really?
Yeah, and I'm bringing Gate up a lot just because I'm watching through Atlantis again, and so I've got that in my mind. But yeah, you'll have a lot of, and like Hercules probably did it. Like there's a lot of genre shows that do this a lot. Where in most cases, probably almost every case, if you restructured it where that wasn't the teaser, and the hook, I think maybe the problem is, in a lot of these things, I think I'm right about this. In a lot of these things, the hook is actually like the premise. You don't actually fully get until you get to the big exciting climax, and so they don't think there's anything to lead with. But the problem is, I think in almost every case, you could come up with a cool way to present it, where you don't have to know what the full premise of the episode is until you get there at the end, and so you're just not giving your audience enough credit.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like it.
All right, we got a $5 super chat from 5.
Yeah, even Iron Man does it.
Yeah.
Plushie DX mentions. Yeah, exactly.
Cap.
Yes.
Would you and Austin consider doing a Pixar Mania?
Is this a super chat?
Yes.
Oh yes. Yes, we've been talking about it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on our short list right now, but that is one of the 3 or 4 other Disney manias we've kicked around doing. The thing is, I've already done long reviews with the Jeff on all the Pixar movies up to the place where I kind of dropped off and didn't care as much, and so it wouldn't be a high priority just because I already have like commentary length videos on those.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd certainly kick it around.
I like Braden's idea, a Godzilla Mania.
Sure.
I will be.
I would just kind of be there, but sure.
Well, yeah, but they're short like Disney movies, so yeah.
We're talking about a condensed version of the video game mania that we started years ago. We're going to do a whole bunch of them, but now we'll just do 10 or 14.
Nice.
But within 2 weeks, like we've been doing with these other ones.
Yeah.
We're kicking around a science fiction mania.
Sure.
We're definitely doing another spooky mania this year for Halloween. That's going to be a tradition. So there will be at least 2 more of those this year. We're going to do one in the summer and one in the fall. Mm-hmm. So right now we're kind of on track for 3 manias a year.
Yeah.
And then maybe some more like 12-hour marathons. Mm-hmm. That could be 24-hour marathons split into 2 again. No, John. No Saw Mania. Stop that. And then of course Austin still wants to do Meg Ryan Mania, and I can't decide to this day if that's a joke or if he's serious about
I will be on for some of that because there is a Meg Ryan movie that I love that you hate, and it's so funny.
I swear to God, if I don't even know what that is right off.
You Got Mail.
I don't hate it. I just your mom was like, this movie's great. And my wife does not typically like chick flicks, but she's like, no, seriously, give this a chance. And I watched it, and I was like, I don't understand.
It's so funny.
I couldn't get into it. I don't know. I
didn't know if I was. I
don't know if I was supposed to be watching it, but from your mom's perspective, am I supposed to be watching this ironically? Like what is it she thinks I'm gonna get out of this?
Yeah.
To this day, I don't know if I was supposed to be laughing at it or with it, from my wife's perspective.
Yeah. I'm laughing.
And she won't
I'm doing
tell
both.
me, which is infuriating. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to rants.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you wanted to go to bed a little earlier,
It's okay.
and we're going to be past 2 hours now. But we'll do kind of short rants. Go ahead.
Okay.
Why don't you start?
Sure. I don't think I've talked about this. Okay, so you know those trucks that they're like normal trucks from the front, and then you walk, and then you look at the back, and they've got double wheels at the back, and it makes them look really fat.
Yeah.
In the back.
Yeah.
And it looks stupid because you think it's a normal truck and a white. Like, what happened to just normal, like, slim trucks? Like, I love what, like, pickup trucks look like. But you add that second wheel to
They
them.
give you a lot of traction.
You add the.
They're great for off-roading.
Yeah, but they look stupid.
just because they're double the thickness.
Yeah, because they look like the extra things on the sides just look really bad.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you go to a grocery store? Let me ask you this. Do you go into a grocery store and you go, yes, Oreos, boo, double stuffed Oreos?
Double stuffed Oreos
That's
suck.
nonsense. Okay, well, at least you're consistent.
Yeah.
You're like, you don't take a round thing and put the same round thing on top of it and say that is now the same but better round thing.
No. But here's the thing, though. Double stuffed Oreos.
So do you go to McDonald's? I mean, nobody should go to McDonald's.
No.
But if you went to McDonald's, would you go hamburger? Yes. McDouble? That's ridiculous.
Yes. And here's the thing, a double stuffed
So
Oreo.
you just don't want stuff stacked on top of other things, or put horizontally or vertically.
Well, here's the thing.
You can't have it either way.
These are probably more tasty, but they look stupid. Double stuffed Oreos look really stupid. Same with.
So once you got 3 patties, you're really out.
Yeah.
You're just like, stop it. Quit stacking
Too much
crap on
beef.
top of other crap.
Do you guys remember my
Now you're like Pete the Cat with his gigantic sandwich.
Do you guys remember my my White Castle review where I said the beef tastes like beef? No, I know.
I do remember
I always
that.
have stupid rants, but I need to bring it up. So
Yeah, and people are still in the comments trying to make North Korea the new White Castle.
yo, what is happening?
I'll tell you about that later. That was also the last. There was a lot that happened in that last night of Disney Mania.
Treasure Planet.
When we did Treasure Planet, yeah, and the one before it. Sorry, it was Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, I think that was that night. Yeah, which I ended up really liking a lot, by the way.
And then you didn't like Treasure Planet that much.
I need to watch it unfettered, but I wasn't like over the moon about it. I thought it was a cool experiment, but at the end of the day, I found myself wishing that they had just adapted it straight.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like the science fiction element added enough to it to make that worthwhile, and I also felt like it probably would have made money or more money if they hadn't done it that way. And so it seemed like not that necessarily ruins the experience, because it could have just been a great movie, but I was like, there's no reason this had to flop either. Like, anyway, anything else you want to say about double wheels?
Every time we're behind a truck that looks like that, I'm like, can we like pass him? Can we like go around him? Because I like what the front of it look. No, I don't really like what the front of it looks like either, because it looks like a normal truck and then it's just got like legs. Like, what the heck, man?
That's wonderful. I kind of want to ask Vince if he feels the same way about this. This sounds like a Vince rant to me. Okay, I'm going to do a rant that is, I think, technically not exactly fair, but it's just how I... So I don't know if this is
it my fault?
factually... No, I don't know if this is factually accurate of me, but just my life experience. Consistently, I always heard this one way, and then in the last decade or so, maybe a little less, I started hearing people use a word in a way that seems incorrect to me just based on my experience. Now, I'll tell you what it is in a second. I went in, and I actually have this with two different things. I'm going to bring up two examples of the same sort of thing. One bugs me more than the other one. I went and looked up the definition of this word, and it is technically not incorrect, but I just heard it the one way for the longest time, and it feels inconsistent and weird to me now, where it's like, if these words are interchangeable, why do we have both words?
Okay. This is the English language.
Yes. This is another English language rant. This is me we're talking about. Recurring
Yeah.
and reoccurring. Recurring, reoccurring. When do you use one over the other? Now, the way I always understood it, and specifically I hear this the most when we're talking about things that pop up in television shows.
Reoccurring for me is an event.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Reoccurring is stuff that happens. Recurring is characters.
Yeah.
So you have a recurring character. That's any character in a show that is not a regular, but shows up more than once. I will hear people say reoccurring character, and it drives me absolutely mad. Drives me nuts.
Yeah,
because characters don't reoccur, events do.
Yeah.
But I looked this up, and the official definition of each of these words is as follows. And I didn't know this, and it's weird in my brain. It's not about event versus person versus object. It's about frequency. So recurring is apparently frequently or lots of times. Reoccurring is twice or real spread out.
Oh.
So it's technically not incorrect.
Interesting.
And by that definition, a recurring character would be Shran in Enterprise.
Yep.
But a reoccurring character would be like what's her name? Worf's mate in TNG.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Her name's not coming in right now, but she's in 2 episodes.
Yep.
And they're like 1 or 2 seasons apart.
Yeah. Or
Kalar.
Or Harry Mudd.
Harry Mudd. That would be a reoccurring, but I can't do it in my brain. Like if something
reoccurring character.
something occurs. A person does not occur in the first place, so how can a person reoccur?
Yeah.
I thought that word existed.
Because it occurs.
I thought that word existed so that we had something to say when a person shows back up. Yeah. Because a person doesn't occur in the first place.
Right.
Anyway, so it bugs me, but it's not technically wrong.
What's the other instance?
The other one is... This is a slightly different thing.
This is the one that doesn't bug you as much?
Not as much now. I think I've come to terms with it.
Okay.
Because people are more consistent with it, and a lot of people use it. I've kind of come to terms with it. This is all. This is.
Are you finally okay with mid?
No. Well, I'm not. I don't have a problem with mid. I'm not gonna say mid.
Okay.
Mid's like, I feel like that's just past me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're like, I feel like a 40-year-old trying to talk like a 15-year-old if I say that. Now, what's weird is there are a couple of other. This is a whole other thing. There are 1 or 2 other kind of slang words. I'm trying to think now. You put me on the spot. That I have caught myself starting to use. because I didn't realize that they were slang. They just sounded right, and I didn't have another way to say them. And I was like, it was like momentarily, I thought everybody had been using this for a long time, and it just didn't even occur to me that they weren't. Cooked is one. I found myself saying that recently, where it's like, Star Trek is cooked, or like the MCU is cooked.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was like new slang.
Yeah.
But that's. It just sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's not short for things that you could sing anyway. Like,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so verse and verses. So,
oh God, I hate verse
so
much.
I don't like it, but I've gotten more used to it.
No, that bugs me way more than reoccurring.
And again, that one's a little different because like they sound like different words, but they're actually not. Verse is just like short for verses, but people will say like Batman verse Superman.
No, I hate it. I can't.
A verse is a part of a song. I don't know.
Yep.
I tacked that one on because I thought I didn't think I would have enough to say about reoccurring, and then I kind of did. But I just thought I'd throw that in there too. Yeah. Okay, so this one bothers you more even.
I don't like it. I think it's maybe on the same level as Devil.
I am not okay with fam, Brayden. No, I don't like that. Okay, so you're not down with verse.
No, verse.
And I'll never say it.
I don't like it at all. And it's the same people who call one die a dice. Those are the same people.
Well, and then what gets weird is it's like, do you start shortening it in titles? Or do you just say it when it's not? So are you going to say Marvel vs. Capcom? Like, it's weird.
It's weird. It's VS.
Yeah.
That's what it stands for.
And unlike cooked, it feels weird on my tongue. I don't like what...
versus Superman.
I don't like it. I don't like what it sounds like.
Hey, I'd rather say V.
Yeah, me too. And that was dumb with that movie too.
Yeah, it was.
Well, okay, so the first time I heard people, or the first few times I heard people saying that, again, I've gotten used to it, but I don't like it. I'm not going to say it. The first few times I heard people saying that, it sounds ignorant to me. Mm-hmm. Right? It doesn't sound like you took a word and you shortened it on purpose. It sounds like you saw the letters VS, didn't know what it stood for, and made that a word.
Yeah.
That's why it bothered me.
Yeah.
So it's like you saw, again, let's say Capcom. You saw Marvel vs. Capcom, and you said verse.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. I don't know if that's why people do it, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And I don't like anything that makes you sound like you've never, like, read a book. That's what bugs me about it. You know what I mean?
Sorry to all the people who say verse, but...
Or people in the comments going, hey, wait a minute, that's me.
I don't know.
I want one person in the comments to come up and be like, okay, I'm unsubscribing because I say both verse and reoccurring character.
Yes, but do you call a single die dice? I brought that up earlier.
That was obnoxious. So that is both obnoxious, and I've fallen into that pit on accident before, and I always correct myself. Really? I don't know why it's easy to accidentally say that.
Yeah.
And, like, I know which one is plural and which one isn't. Maybe it's because I've heard too many people do it wrong, and then I'll accidentally fall into that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, stop it. Dice is plural.
Busted Sim says people need to research.
Brayden V is dumb. RJ Godzilla V sounds like it's referencing a court case.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what was so baffling about that title when BVS came out.
Yeah.
Go back and look if you haven't seen it. I did like a 9 or 15 minute video on just the title when that was announced before we had a trailer. Where I just broke down how insane I thought that title was. And I had people that give me crap about it. I was like, I don't care. I think this is really stupid sounding. And I have never backed off on that. But I was like, it sounds like a direct-to-video movie.
Yeah,
it's insanely long. You're cynically, corporately trying to get every damn idea in that... like looking ahead where you're going, it's Batman, it's Superman, Justice League is coming. we like the word dawn in movies right then for some reason. You know, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead and read Carl's super chat. Yeah.
Yeah, Carl Maxey's $5 super chat. Is there a movie in 2025 that really impressed you? For me, it's K-pop Demon Hunters. I didn't expect to enjoy it on a deep level, hoping for a sequel.
I can be honest with you, I have not lately been keeping up real hard with current stuff outside of what I review on the channel.
Yeah.
I just haven't, for lots of reasons. I just haven't been, and I hear about great things that I have not gotten around to looking at. So I would have to look at a list and see what I even saw last year. Because like apart from superhero movies, I don't think I saw very much.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say Thunderbolts because I loved that movie so much. And it did impress me.
Like I just didn't see much again apart from superhero stuff. Outside of superhero, that was the year before.
What was?
I was gonna say Godzilla -1. I think that was the year before.
That was the year before.
Yeah. Did I see anything last year? Hardly.
You saw Naked Gun.
Yeah. I mean, that was good. But I'm not gonna say like that was the best thing I saw last year. Probably
Was 25 years later.
28. No, that might be
later.
it. Yeah, but that wasn't coming to me because I didn't watch that until after it came out.
Right, exactly. But you. Really
I don't think it was even 2025 anymore when I finally watched it. I think that was probably this year. Yes, I adored it. It's wonderful.
I'm
so
very
that's
sorry.
Maybe the answer.
I had 25 in front of me, and I said 25 years later.
25 years later.
And I'm like, wait, no, that's not right.
I've not seen Bone Temple yet.
No.
I didn't get to the theater for that, just like I didn't get to the theater for the first one. But
and I haven't seen 25 years later, so I need to do that. But
yeah, I'll watch Sinners at some point. I just haven't gotten to that.
Apparently, Bone Temple has my favorite Radiohead song in it, so I need to watch it.
Dana Verscap just lost my subscription for scolding me on my pronunciation errors. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm an English guy, and we all make mistakes, and we're all ignorant of certain bits of grammar. And English is a weird language in lots of ways, and so I'm not begrudging individuals. I do begrudge the culture for dumbing stuff down.
Yeah.
And for in general not caring enough about teaching children to read whole books or read properly.
Yep.
And all of that. We just don't value it the way we should.
No one I know knows how to read a clock.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. I'm like,
oh, there's all kinds of stuff that you know how to do that I bet a lot of your peers don't. Like, I don't know. Like I hate to like compare them like that because I'm not saying look you're so much better than they are. I'm just saying there's stuff you were homeschooled and there's stuff that your mom and I thought you should know how to do that public school and even a lot of private school would not value anymore.
Yeah.
So you know what Roman numerals do, and you know how to write some cursive and just stuff that your peers probably don't do either of those two things.
Nope.
I would imagine.
Nope.
In fact, I would make the case, this is such a weird point to make. We're going to end on this. It's such a goofy point. I would make the case that most of your friends do really good block letters but can't write cursive. I bet that's true.
I mean, all my friends are like super into art. So
yeah, so they're drawing like, yeah. They're drawing block letters, but they can't write cursive.
Like both of my best friends are like really into art.
Was Transformers 1 last year? I thought that was the year before too.
Oh, I thought that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so did I. That's what I'm saying is I think I saw a lot more in 24 than I did last year.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago. Yep. Anyway, well, hey, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And we will be with you again next Monday for another one. This is going to be kind of a short week for me because I've got a writers meeting on Friday. So I will probably not be on camera Wednesday, Thursday. Or if I am, it might be at a weirder hour, like earlier in the day or something. And it might just be a video game stream or something. But I'm probably not going to be around Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday night, and Austin's not on the channel at all this week. He's on vacation for Easter. And so Friday night, I will likely do something after my writers' meeting, but I've not decided yet what it is. So it won't be rewind commentary. It'll be something I don't have to prep for. So it might be a blind commentary. It might just be some sort of discussion stream. If there's something any of you guys really want to see me talk about, or an idea for something fun to stream, leave a comment or message me, and I will consider it. And as always, appreciate you guys. If you're not currently a patron, but you want to help support the channel, just the $2 tier lets you leave comments or questions for this show. And thanks a lot for Super Chatters tonight. We're going to go ahead and get going. I was Captain Logan. This was Jason.
And I'm Jason.
Bye, everybody.
I wanna take you for a ride.